else you don't see? Seed rolling in the trench. We replaced the seed tube with a new delivery cartridge, the heart of this revolutionary planter technology. Inside, you'll find the brush belt, which delivers seed directly into the trench on a dead drop, with no roll, at up to 10 miles per hour. Each seed is carried by the brush belt, but not before passing by our all-new seed sensor. Think of it as another set of eyes where you need them most. Population, simulation, spacing information. It's all gathered at the sensor. Every precious seed is carefully spaced and carefully placed. The new bowl-shaped disc simulates your seed, while the concave shape allows the brush to grab each one effortlessly. Watch how these paddles push seed into the center of the brush belt so you can feel confident knowing there's a secure handoff every time. And thanks to the improved brush style doubles eliminator, only one seed rests in each hole before the disc hands it over to the brush belt. This allows you to enjoy the highest possible singulation. Of course, this high-efficiency meter system wouldn't be complete without a superior vacuum. That ensures the disc holds the seed tightly before it's passed on. Check out the new hopper design. It helps you get the most of your seed pool by maintaining target seed population on slopes of up to 15 degrees in any direction. But there's more. Two independent electric motors keep ExactEmerge running smoothly. One that rotates the meter, the other turns the brush belt. This gives you the speed matching delivery and population only ExactEmerge can offer. Not enough? How about the fact we've made active pneumatic downforce standard on this planter? And when paired with the new brush belt delivery, you get optimal depth for maximum yield at 10 miles per hour. Just set the downforce margin you want and run confidently. It's that simple. Finally, a planter with no trade-off between speed and accuracy. A planter that buries the myth of only planting at 5 miles per hour. A planter that marries precise seed placement and productivity. It's the all-new ExactEmerge row unit from John Deere. Accurate at 10 miles per hour. Exactly.
Then this here talks about the ExactEmerge 5 row units that we have. It's just a little animation that shows how they work. Basically what they're showing here is a seed running against a seed disc. This is your double eliminator arm that they were showing there. This is the seed knockout wheel here that pushes the seed off the disc. That way we get a perfect drop for it. Every time the seed comes by that, it drops it, knocks it off the plate and pushes it down to the seed. You can see that with it pushing it off the plate every time, it gets it down the seed tube to where it has the perfect placement, drops it down to the seed. Okay, so basically now I'm going to start on the row units themselves. If you look over here at this row unit, we can turn the lights on so we can see. This is the Pro row unit right here that we have. Basically when you hook up your planter to the tractor, depending on your tire size, you need to have, there's some very important adjustments you need to make. On the tongue of the planter, when you're down in the plant position, you want that tongue to run level with the planter. With tractors that have the 50-inch tires on it, you might have to lengthen your lift arms out on the 3-point to where you can get it to run as level as you can. When the planter's in the ground, also, these arms right here should be running parallel to the ground. They should be level. So basically, like it's showing right here, you would need to put some more downforce on it to get it to where you're, to lower the frame down to where you can run level here. On the lift arms, the wear points we have on them, there's bushings in the front, top arms, and then bottom arms, and then there's also bushings on the back here. When you get the planters that have quite a bit of acres on them, those bushings will wear, and it's a good check. The biggest thing I do is when I walk up to a planter, I grab the row unit and see how much side-to-side movement you have on it. If you get to where you have side-to-side movement, then you need to go into the bushings here on the lift arms. As far as on the downforce system, with the air systems, when you first hook them up to the tractor at the beginning of the year, if you have the electric compressors, Deere recommends that you use an air source to air up the airbags for the first time. Instead of letting those air compressors run, fill them up. Those air compressors were, what did you say, Ernie? Right at $800 for the compressor? For those electric air compressors. And the reason why we say that, these airbags, when they're deflated, to get them to inflate, you have to let the planter down, so the controller will send air out to them to air them up. If you let them down and they don't have air in them, sometimes they can get folded wrong, and it can cause damage to the airbags too. So when you go back to the air tanks, there's a Schrader valve there where you can put a tire pressure gauge or hook your air chuck up to it, and then it will air the airbags up as well when you hook them up for the first time. For checking for air leaks, another thing we talk about, those electric air compressors. How many guys have been out planting and you get a warning that your compressor has been running too long? Have you guys saw that? Okay, that is very important, guys. When those compressors start to wear out, they do not pump as well, or if you have air leaks on any of the air fittings, that makes that compressor have to run longer than it should. I don't know about you, but I don't want to have to put an $800 compressor on every year or twice a year. We've had some of them fail. So that's why we want to make sure that our air systems do not have leaks in it. The best way I've found is just get you a bottle of soapy water, go around to the connections, spray them down, and you will find your fitting problems there. Some common ones is where this brass fitting swivels right here, they'll leak right there. Or if your air lines are a little short, when you raise it up and down, it'll pull on the air lines and they'll get to where they'll start leaking out of them. I always tell guys to carry some extra hose on hand. The first ones came out with 1/8" air line. The later ones are 1/4" air line, or 3/8. I think it's 3/8 air line now. Spring downforce. I've got the arm right here. For guys that have the older spring downforce, if you just walk up to the planter when the planter's up in the air, how do you check to make sure that your downforce system is working right? A lot of guys, it's not until you're out seeing the seed come up out of the ground. Okay, we've got one row that came up 2 days earlier than what the rest of them did. What we have on these spring style systems, this arm right here is what actually puts the force down from the springs. And what will happen is it'll break off right here. And if you don't come back and grab onto these handles and pull up on them, if it's broke off, you'll be able to pull that handle up. And if you do, then you know that that rodium is not getting the downforce applied to it. So we have to replace those arms. Also, if you would encounter a rock or something that makes that rodium bounce up real fast, these arms could break off right here too. So you need to make sure that those are a complete unit like that. And the early ones were made out of a different material. Now that they're cast iron, they're lasting a whole lot longer than what the other ones did. Also with pneumatic or the hydraulic downforce, basically you can just check for oil leaks there. No-till coulters. How many of you guys have no-till coulters on your planters? Do you guys know that there's important adjustments you need to keep doing on those no-till coulters? Basically, what we want, this no-till coulter should be running 1 inch higher than what the bottom of your true V openers are. The reason we want that higher than what the true V opener is, it's not going to disturb the soil where that true V opener is trying to make and maintain a solid V groove in the ground for your seed to drop into. If you've got this running lower, it'll make a loose bed there so the true V openers cannot penetrate, or they don't make a good solid trench for your seed to drop down into. So we always want them at least 1 inch above where your true V openers are running. The true V openers from John Deere new are 15 inches across. Deere says you can wear them down to 14 inches. At 14 and a half, you can see the bevel here will be gone off your true V opener. Guys that are running no-tilt, I say at 14 and a half, you need to replace your openers. because when the bevel is gone off of that, you lose a lot of your penetrating force to get down into the ground. Along with that, when you're replacing your True V openers, it is very important to have the shims on each side equal on that. That way, if you have more shims on one side than the other, the True V opener will actually start wearing on your cast iron frog right here, and you'll start seeing grooves worn in them. And then the most important thing when you put the new openers on, there's a blade contact here that the blades run actually together, and you want the blades to contact for at least 1.5 to 2 inches in the front. And the best way to do that I just tell guys, take a piece of paper and slide in to where it stops going in, then come in from the bottom. Maybe if I can just slid in there. And then that'll show you your area of contact on your True V openers. So you need to have at least 1.5 to 2 inches of contact right there. That's very important because if that blade is not touching, try to push that in the ground, it's not going to let the True V opener push together to where you can maintain your depth that you're trying to plant. C-tube guards. All right, C-tube guards play a very important role. It keeps the seed discs apart. So the seed discs are in the ground that it's not wearing on your seed tubes. As you can see, I'll pass this around, you guys can see, when the seed tube guards get worn out, the True V openers actually will contact that seed tube and wears holes through the side. So instead of the seed dropping all the way into the ground, it can bounce out and then you'll start finding the seed on top of the ground. Now that seed tube there is an old style seed tube. Deere has come out with a smoked seed tube on the back side where the seed, the seed tube guards, they say when they get from 5/8 of an inch wide to 11/16, that's when you need to replace this because that's when it'll let the blades come together and wear out the edge of your seed tubes. That seed tube there they were sent around first was the black style, and it actually had a hole in the back. This one here is the smoked seed tube, so what it does is the seed sensor actually looks through the tube instead of having the eyes inside of it. What they found is the eyes on the sensor, the seed could hit it and it would cause the seed to start bouncing in the seed tube. So they've come out with a smoke style seed tube, and it's instead of having the eyes inside the tube, they're on the outside so it looks through it. Now one thing that's very important, you see this yellow seal right here that comes with the seed tubes? Those have to be put on right on the seed tube sensor itself. If you do not get that right, it'll let dust get inside, and the dust will start making your sensors make it to where it's not reading the seed when it's dropping in. So you got to make sure that that yellow seal gets put on there right. What you'll find is you'll put seed tubes in, you'll run, maybe 100 acres, and it'll start having failures for sensors saying that they're not planting, and when you take them off, it'll be full of dust in there. And it's just because the sensor cannot see through the dirt inside the tube. The other thing we have for guys who plant milo, we have a seed tube insert. Basically what this does is it keeps the milo to where it's in a smaller section of the tube, so it gets it to where it goes past the eye to where the sensor is able to read it. Very important for milo guys or guys that plant feed with them to get them to where it counts the seeds right. Talking about seed tube sensors, there are two different styles of seed tube sensors. There's an AccuCount sensor, and then there's a regular sensor. When you go to price them, you'll understand the AccuCount is a lot more expensive than the regular seed tube sensor, but this one counts high rate. For guys that's planting milo, you need to have the AccuCount sensor in. And what you can tell is the AccuCount has a green LED on the back, where the regular seed tube has a red LED on the back. So that's the easiest way to check and see which one you have. We do offer a seed tube sensor tester that we sell at the store. Basically, it's just an easy way. If you've got one that's giving you problems, you'll just take your sensor out, plug it in. Granted, this would be still on the seed tube. But anytime you drop a seed through, it buzzes. So it's an easy way to check if that seed sensor is good. Also, at the same time it drops through there, the way you can check it on the machine, this LED will flash when that seed drops by too. So you'll be able to tell if it's counting. If you get into an issue where a seed tube sensor is good, but you suspect the wiring on the planter, you can see you've got a red, black, and green on here. If you have a voltmeter, I tell guys to carry a voltmeter with them. The red to black is your supply and ground. You should have 5 volts there. When it's unplugged, you'll have phantom power coming back from the controller. You should have 5 volts coming back from the controller to let you know. If you don't have power on your green wire, then you know you've got an issue with the harness not getting power. Also, for the CCS planters out there, we have inserts that go in the bottom of the seed tanks. They're a yellow insert that goes into the bottom of the tubes where the air blows through to pick up the seed, and that reduces it down so we don't have problems with the milo plugging up the hoses coming out of the seed tubes. Now we're into gauge wheels. This is the new latest and greatest that has come out from John Deere, the spoke gauge wheel. How many guys have had the plastic ones and your gauge wheels get loose because the bearings start rocking inside the plastic? Then you get gauge wheels that you can't hold solid and they start moving around. I really like this design, especially for this year. It looks like we're going to be dealing with some mud when we're planting. It also helps you get in here to where you can close it up, clean out the mud. How many guys have dropped one in the mud and had to go out there and dig them out? It's a pain in the neck. It really is. It's about easier to pull the gauge wheel off and then dig them out. But at least with this, you'll be able to go in here and you can dig them out. The other nice thing I like of this, you'll be able to see that your Truvy overbearing, if it goes out, you'll be able to see that it's out. A whole lot easier than with this wheel right here. Instead of going out and grabbing the disc, you'll be able to see. Usually when the dust cap pops off, you know you've got an issue starting there. Plus, with this one here, you don't have to unbolt the 2 halves, take it apart to put your bearing in. You'll be able to just press it out and press it right in here, so it's a lot easier to change your bearing. With gauge wheel arms, they've come out with new style gauge wheel arms too. Cal touched on it a little bit. They've got a lot bigger bearing surface on them, so they should last longer. Instead of the other ones, the threads is what they wore on. Now it wears on this outside 2 diameters here, so they last longer. And they are retrofitted back to like a 7200 planter. We have one that's got the large diameter.